Today we continue to listen Anattalakkhana Sutta. First we have to recite Anattalakkhana Sutta Pali. Number 2 and number 3, Vedana and Sinya. Sinya number 3, can you follow me? Sinya Bhikkhave Natta. Sinya Jahidam Bhikkhave Atta Abhaisa. Naidan Sinya Abadaya Samviddeya Labetaja Sinyaya Evo Me Sinya Hodu Evo Me Sinya Mahositi Yasamaja Go Bhikkhave Sinya Natta Tasama Sinya Abadaya Samvidati Naja Lavati Sinyaya Evo Me Sinya Hodu Evo Me Sinya Mahositi. So we have to recite Vedana and Sinya, recite together, starting from number 2. Vedana Bhikkhave Natta Vena Jahidam Bhikkhave Atta Abhaisa Naida Vedana Avadaya Samviddeya Labetaja Vedanaya Evo Me Vedana Hotu Evo Me Vedana Mahositi Yasamaja Ko Bhikkhave Vedana Natta Tasama Vedana Avadaya Samvidati Naja Lavati Vedanaya Evo Me Vedana Hotu Evo Me Vedana Mahositi Sinya Bhikkhave Natta Sinya Jahidam Bhikkhave Atta Abhaisa Naida Sinya Vadaya Samviddeya Labetaja Sinyaya Evo Me Sinya Hotu Evo Me Sinya Mahositi Yasamaja Ko Bhikkhave Sinya Natta Tasama Sinya Vadaya Samvidati Naja Lavati Sinyaya Evo Me Sinya Hotu Evo Me Sinya Mahositi. English translation. Read together Vedana and Sinya. Monks, Vedana feeling is not self, soul or living entity. If feeling was self, it would not tend to afflict or distress. And it would also be possible to say, let my feeling be thus, let my feeling not be thus. Monks, in fact, feeling is not self. Since it is not self, it tends to afflict and distress. And it is not possible to say of feeling, let it be thus, let it not be thus. Monks, Senior perception is not self, soul or living entity. Were self, it would not tend to inflict or distress. It will also be possible to say, let my perception be thus, let my perception not be thus. In fact, perception is not self. Since it is not self, it tends to inflict and distress. And it is not possible to say of perception, let it be thus, let it not be thus. Feeling is not self. How can we understand? How can we accept? By practicing meditation, we can realize that seeing is not self. So it is clear for the yogis that feeling is not subjected to your will and ungovernable. Yogi realize through your personal experience the non-self nature of Vedana. Yogi vividly see the non-self nature of Vedana feeling because of its disappearing on each occasion of your noting. In the initial stage of your meditation, you suffer from physical pain or stiffness, itching or feeling hot. Occasionally, you suffer also mental distress and disappointment. Digestion, repugnance, disliking. But you keep on noting these unpleasant feelings. Unpleasant, unpleasant, very clear. And you come to know that while these unpleasant feelings, dukkha vedana, are manifesting themselves, there is no pleasant sensation, there is no pleasurable sensation. Good sensation do not arise at that moment. However, on some occasion, yogis experience in the course of meditation very pleasant feeling, both physical and mental, arising in you. For instance, when you think of happy incidents, the objects are so pleasurable and happy feelings are evoked. So yogi should keep on noting your pleasant feeling as they arise. Then you come to know that while pleasant feelings are manifesting themselves, unpleasant sensations are not there, bad sensations do not arise at that moment. However, yogi is mostly engaged in noting the origination and dissolutions of ordinary physical and mental process. For example, rising and falling of the abdomen. It is neither painful nor pleasurable sensation. So yogi knows these occasions when neutral feeling only is evident. So you know that when the equanimous feeling arises, both painful feeling and pleasurable feelings are absent. So with your personal knowledge, realization comes that feeling is that which makes a momentary appearance, only to vanish away soon. So feeling is transitory, it is not self, it is not ego, which is to be regarded as permanent. Here, as this juncture, we would like to include Dhamma Sutta in our discourse as it provides good illustration of how such realization comes about. However, first we must begin with an account of how Venerable Sariputta, who was chiefly concerned with the Dhamma Sutta, attained to higher knowledge. So starting from today, you have to listen two parts in the Dhamma Talk. First part is the two chief disciple liberation, because the Gandhaka Sutta is connected with Venerable Sariputta. And second part is Anattalakkhana Sutta. So two parts you need to listen in the lecture. So we have to talk about the remarkable episode. That is the episode of liberation attained by the two chief disciples, Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamaukalana. One of the significant parts of this episode is an insightful verse that Venerable Asiji delivered to ascetic Upatesa, that would be Venerable Sariputta. So do you have paper? The liberation of the two chief disciples of the Buddha, how they liberated by listening to this teaching. So number one, ye dhamma hetu pabhava te sahiton tathagato aha te sinja yo nirodo evam vadi mahasamano. That is a discourse. The Venerable Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamaukalana listened and liberated. So can you follow me? Ye dhamma hetu pabhava te sahiton tathagato aha te sinjayo nirodo evam vadi mahasamano. Ye dhamma hetu pabhava te sahiton tathagato aham te sinjayo nirodo evam vadi mahasamano. Translation, follow me. Phenomena have their origin in causes. Tathagata teaches the causes. the cessations of them, this is a doctrine the great sage teaches. Phenomena have their origin in causes. Tathagata teaches the causes and cessations of them. It is a doctrine the great sage teaches. So this is an insightful verse given by Venerable Asiji to Upadesa, that would be Venerable Sariputta. So this stanza is taught by Tathagata. Who is Tathagata? Tathagata is Buddha. Tathagata is synonymous with Buddha. It is the term the Buddha often used referring to himself. Tathagata literally means same karma. Tata same, Tata means same, and Agata means karma. Same karma implying that the Buddha comes to this planet with the same qualities as all the other Buddhas in the past and future. What are the qualities of all the Buddhas in the past, in the present, and in the future? You understand the qualities of the Buddha. They have to fulfill 10 paramis, Dana parami, the act of charity, etc. And Upaparami, 10 middle grade perfection. Paramata Parami, 10 highest grade perfection. And Parijaga, 5 great givings. And 3 Jariya, 3 practice. Great practice comprising practice for the world, Lokatachariya. Practice for his relatives, practice for his relatives, that is Nyatatachariya, and practice for Buddhahood, Bodhatachariya. So previous Buddha, present Buddha, and future Buddha have these qualities. So this Buddha is also called Tathagata because he have the same qualities as all the other Buddhas in the past and future. Another meaning of Tathagata means same karma. Our Buddha, after birth, he walked 7 steps to north as all the other Buddhas in the past and future. So after birth, Bodhisattva walk 7 steps. It is the same as other Buddhas in the past and future. Because of this, he is called Tathagata. Another meaning of Tathagata is same knower. The Buddha know the Four Noble Truths, noble truth of suffering, noble truth of the origin of suffering, noble truth of the cessation of suffering, noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, as all the other Buddhas in the past and future. Because of this, he is called Tathagata. Another meaning of Tathagata is same speaker, meaning the Buddha speaks the truth the same as other Buddha speak the truth. And that means the Buddha speaks the same as he does. So Tathagata, the great sage, teaches phenomena have their origin in causes. Tathagata teaches the causes and cessations of them. It is the doctrine of Mahasamana, great sage teaches. So this is an insightful verse given by Venerable Asiji to Upadesa, that would be Venerable Sariputta. Evidently, the sermon was very brief, but highly revered in olden days too, given that it was found imprinted on a bronze or silver plate among the ruin of ancient pagodas when people search for relics. It was written in ancient Hindi characters and even in earlier characters too. Archaeologists nowadays excavated this vase etched on a bronze plate and shrine along with Venerable Sariputta relics in Sanchi Pagoda, India. So for sure, this vase was highly respected in the olden days too. Ascetics Upadesa asks Venerable Asiji what kinds of doctrine his teacher Tathagata taught. Then Venerable Asiji mentioned the Buddha doctrine in brief. Ye Dhamma hetu babava desa hetung Tathagato aha desinja yo nirodo evam vadi mahasamano. Phenomena have their origin in causes. Tathagata teaches the causes and cessation of them. That is the doctrine the great sage teaches. What that means? So that means that phenomena in the world are conditioned. Now, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, what you know, all are conditioned. They are the results. These conditioned phenomena or the five aggregates are true suffering, dukkha sacca, truth of suffering. These phenomena, these conditional phenomena come into existence when conditions are met without having existed earlier. So they are called conditioned phenomena. And Venerable Asiji said, our teacher Tathagata, our teacher Mahasamana Great Sage, talks about conditioned phenomena. So conditioned phenomena is what? This is dukkha sitya. Conditioned phenomena are 5 upadana khanda, or seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and knowing. These are conditioned phenomena. They are truth or suffering. They are dukkha sitya. Ye dhamma hetu pabhava. Hetu pabhava. That is, the causes of these phenomena. That is, samudaya sitya. Tesan hetung tathagato aha tesinja yo nirodo. Nirodo means the cessations of these suffering. That is, niroda sitya. So that is what this verse literally means. So that is, you understand the Four Noble Truths. That is Venerable Asiji taught to ascetic Upadisa, the would be Sariputta. So you have paper number 3, Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth is conditioned phenomena ye dhamma. Conditioned phenomena, mind and body, or seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing, represent the truth of suffering. That is dukkha sitya. Hetu bhava, the cause of suffering, is attachment or craving. So that is the samudaya sitya, the truth of the origin of suffering. Tesan hetung tathagato aha tesinja yo nirodo. Nirodo means cessation or suffering, that is nirvana. That is number C. Their cessation refers to the truth of the cessations of suffering. And there is no mega sitya, but you need to know by inference. Inferentially, the path that leads to the cessation is the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. They are included mega sitya. So now you may understand this stanza. This stanza show 4 noble truths. So can you follow me? The conditioned phenomena, mind and body, represent the truth of suffering, dukkha sitya. Their causes, the attachment, indicate the truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya sitya. Their cessation refers to the truth of the cessation of suffering, nibbana, nirodha sitya, and inferentially, the path that leads to their cessation is the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. Mega Sitcha. So in this stanza, there are only three Sitcha: Dukkha Sitcha, Samudaya Sitcha, and Nirodha Sitcha. But inferentially, the path is there. Four Noble Truths, Buddha teaching. So the conditioned phenomena and the conditioning phenomena refer to effect and cause, respectively, or in other words, the suffering, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing are all psychophysical phenomena are truth of suffering, dukkha sitya, and the cause of suffering is attachment, it is samudaya sitya, respectively. In a conventional sense, we call man, woman, deities, celestial beings, individual person, living beings, and so on. However, in an ultimate sense, there's no man, no woman, no deities. They are only cause and effect. So this Buddha teaching is very deep. This stanza is a deep topic, not easy for general people to comprehend properly. However, we can understand it correctly because we have a good access to commentaries that explain the Buddha teachings in detail. Now you are listening according to the commentaries, etc. You can understand this stanza very clearly. Otherwise, we would find this very hard to understand it. However, ascetic Upadesa immediately understood it well because Upadesa was an exceptional person, that would be Venerable Sariputta, endowed with great wisdom. So there is nothing but only cause and effect. Then what that means, the cycle of cause and effect comes over and over again in an endless manner. Cause and effect, dukkha and samudaya. We suffer dukkha because of attachment, and because of attachment we suffer. It comes over and over again and again in an endless manner. No, not really so. There is their cessation known as Nibbana. There is Nirodha Sitcha. But in this teaching, the path to the cessation, Mega Sitcha, is not directly mentioned in this verse. Giving the cessation that is directly mentioned, however, it is very reasonable to assume that Buddha implicitly, Buddha completely teaches the path, Mega Sitcha, to the cessation of suffering too. So this verse is all about the Four Noble Truths. While listening to this verse, the ascetic Upadesa became a first stage enlightener Sotapanna. Actually, it is said he was enlightened by the time the first half of the verse was stated, meaning before the entire verse was finished, he became enlightened. Even if his enlightenment had taken place only after the entire verse was completed, maybe the entire verse was completed within 30 seconds, the first half of the verse may take only 15 seconds. He became enlightened. So the entire verse was completed. He should have been considered to be enlightened very, very fast indeed. Anyhow, it is said Sariputta became a first stage enlightener by the time the first half of the verse was finished. So now we have to explain that verse. Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana attained enlightenment by listening to this teaching. In many temples, you will find on either side of the Buddha image the statues of two Savaka, two disciples. Their robes are draped over one shoulder and they stand in the attitude of reverence with joined palms. Who are they? You recognize. They are the fully enlightened Buddha's two chief disciples, the Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana. They stand in the position they occupy in life. Venerable Sariputta on the Buddha's right and Venerable Mahamoggallana on the left of the Buddha. When the great stupa at Sanchi in India was opened up, the relics chamber was found to contain two stone receptacles. The one to the north held the bodily relics of Venerable Mahamoggallana, while that on the south enclosed those relics of Venerable Sariputta. Next to the Enlightened One himself, it is these two chief disciples who stand highest in the veneration of Buddhists in the Theravada lands. Venerable Sariputta is the marshal of the Dhamma. He is Dhamma Senapati. That means marshal of the Dhamma. Among the Arahants, those who free from mental defilements, kilesa of passion, delusion, etc., is shown like the full moon in a starry sky. Saripodra and Moggallana, their previous name were Upadisa and Kolita. Even before the Buddha appeared on earth, there had existed two small villages of Brahmins called Upadisa and Kolita. The head of Upadisa village named his son Upadisa after his village, who would later become Venerable Sariputta. In the same way, the head of Kolita named his son Kolita after his village, that would be Venerable Moggallana. People of the two villages had been very close friends, like relatives for many generations. So Upadisa and Kolita were friends and played together during their childhood days and grew up together into adulthood. Both families were wealthy and had many retinues. It is said that the two had 500 attendants each. When young Upadisa went somewhere, he did so in a palanquin and was accompanied by his retinue. A palanquin was a descent vehicle available in those days when there were very few alternatives. Kolita and his retinue used horse-drawn chariots when they went somewhere. The two often went together to festivals and carnivals when there was some. They would enjoy their time together watching different performances there, whether comedy, tragedy, or thriller. However, one day, when their paramis, perfection, matured enough, their way of thinking changed. What is parami? Parami literally means Paramanankaman Parami, the deeds of noble person. So Parami means noble deeds. It refers to 10 kinds of wholesome deeds. Dana, Sila, Nikama, Pinya, Viriya, Khanti, Sitya, Aditana, Metta, Upekha. 10 paramis. You need to remember 10 paramis. Can you follow me? Dana parami, Sila parami, Nikama parami, Pinya parami, Viriya parami, Sitya Viriya parami, Khanti parami, Sitya parami, Aditana parami, Metta parami, Upekha parami. So noble deeds, the first deed is Dana parami, the acts of generosity. And number 2, Sila parami, observations of moral precepts, Sila. And Nikama parami, renunciations of worldly life. You all meditators doing Dana, Sila, Nikama. In the retreat, you renounce everything. And Pinya parami, cultivations of wisdom. Viriya parami, wholesome effort. Kanti Parami, forbearance, patience, Sitya Parami, truthfulness, Aditana Parami, wholesome resolution, Metta Parami, loving kindness, and Upekha Parami, equanimity. So these paramis, these deeds disappear as anything else, but they leave their qualities behind in a dormant form in a doer's mental process. So such dormant forms of noble qualities are called parami, which accompany you life after life. Here the two friends were born with such noble qualities, which now matured enough for their enlightenment. So when paramis mature enough, your way of thinking change, your view to the world change. So it occurred to Upadesa and Kolida. Now we know, all we know is about the current life, but nothing about afterlife. So people endowed with paramis are likely to think about life after death. But many people may not even want to hear about life after death. When Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw was a child, it happened to think him that I know who my parents and relatives are in this life, but I have no idea who my parents and relatives might have been in my previous life. At that time, Mahasi Sayadaw was very young, not even 10 years yet. He also wondered which village and which family he might have belonged to in his previous life. So the speculation about the next life ended up with confusion. So it is extremely complicated to think about samsara. We totally don't know our past life, and we totally don't know our future lives. But luckily we encounter Buddha teaching, and relying on the teaching of the Buddha, we can guess the nature of life. So Upadesa and Kolida thought about afterlife in this way. All we know is about this life, but we know nothing about the life after death. And they look at the people around and they thought that all those people will live just within 100 years at most. After 100 years, they will all disappear in an untraceable manner. So the two young men, Upadesa and Kolida, watching people who were enjoying the festival, developed a sense of urgency, samvega. And subsequently, they thought that they should do something to attain the liberation of death. That means moksha, liberation of death. So they lost interest in the festival. No comedy could make them laugh or smile. They became solemn and serious, like practicing meditation. So endowed with mature paramis, they became spiritually awakened without anyone's help. People who have no parami won't gain a sense of urgency like this, no matter however much they may learn about the Dhamma. Such ignorant people won't be afraid of any danger of woeful rebirths, as if they were very brave heroes. Actually, they were too ignorant to be afraid of going rounds and rounds the torturous cycles of samsara, torturous cycle of birth and death. So referring to them, Buddha said in Dhammavada, Tigo balana sansaro saddhamma avijanata, etc. So that is Dhammavada teaching. You have paper number 2. Tiga Zagratorati, Tiga Santasa Yojana, Digo Balana Sansaro, Saddhamma Avijanatam. So can you follow me? Tiga Zagratorati, Tiga Santasa Yojana, Digo Balana Sansaro, Saddhamma Avijanatam. Tiga Jagratorati, Tiga Santasa Yojanam, Tiga Balana Sansaro, Saddhamma Avijanatam. Long is the night to the wakeful, long is the journey to the weary, long is samsara to the foolish who know not the sublime truth. Long is the night to the wakeful, long is the journey to the weary, long is samsara to the foolish who know not the sublime truth. So ignorant people, they're not afraid of going rounds and rounds of samsara, rounds and rounds of torturous cycles of birth and rebirth, birth and death. So referring to them, Buddha said in the Dhammavada. So we will continue tomorrow, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is for to achieve disciple liberation, connecting Anattalakkhana Sutta and Vedananupasana. And part 2 is for Anattalakkhana Sutta. So we have to stop our discourse for today by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting rising, falling, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, standing continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. So,